Taylor.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Van Sickle.
Yes. Approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second. Britton.
Yes.
Taylor.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Van Sickle.
Yes. Presentations, celebrations, and reports.
Yeah, so before we get started, the month of May is School Board Appreciation. So when you guys came in today, you should have received a certificate of appreciation from Iowa Association of School Board. And then you have a couple other items in front of you. One of them is a book from the elementary, and Ms. Krause can speak a little bit more about what you will see inside.
Yep, just messages from staff, just thank you for your time and the work that goes on both for building this community as a whole.
And then in front of you also you'll have a flower, and those flowers are actually out of our greenhouse. So our FFA program does that, and it's just a simple gesture to say appreciation for all the things that you guys do. We have also another short little video that our kids kind of put together, and I'm going to share that with you guys real quick.
You are important leaders for the school district. Thank you for helping our students. Thank you for supporting students and teachers. Thank you for making our schools safe. Thank you for helping us taking care about kids. Thank you for spending your time helping our community. Thank you for listening to students and our staff. Thank you for supporting our activities and programs. Thank you for helping us have great schools. Thank you for making Thank you for making us leaders. Thank you for our schools being a positive place. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for all you do each day.
So again, I think sometimes when we're making all the decisions that we make, and I think sometimes we forget the why, and I think that you guys just had in front of you the why. The why is our kids, and I'm so appreciative of all the things that you guys do for Ogden Community Schools on behalf of the students and staff, so thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. So, winter activities, celebrations?
Absolutely. So again, the cadence that we do it 3 times a year, but we wrapped up our winter activities. Mr. Smith is here to present. I think we had quite a list of successful students, and some of them are here to receive their recognition.
We do, yeah. So I've got a long list of students to recognize in a variety of different activities from the winter season. I have 3 students here with me that I'm going to recognize today. Bailey Gears, Glenda Moody, and Isabel Holt. You guys want to just stand while I speak. Glenda's going to get recognized. I think a few of them will actually get recognized a few different times on this list. So starting off, in the FFA program, we had a few events that participated at the state competition, one of those being the parliamentary procedure. They ended up placing 3rd place at the state competition. Students on that event were Olivia Coleman, Clara Cruz, Melena Sesker, Sawyer Curry, and Riley Ferwerda. Our individual speech students, we had a few students that participated at a high level and at the state level. Lola Fredrickson competed in acting. Katie Brailsford competed in solo music and prose. Lydia Longhorn competed in solo music and video casting. And Maddie Ellis competed at the state level also in solo music. We had students in the large group speech that also participated at the state competition. That would be Lydia Longhorn, Glenda Moody, and Katie Brailsford, and they competed in ensemble acting. Members from our FCCLA program qualified for the national competition. Those high school students being Maddie Benjamin, who qualified in sports nutrition, Glenda Moody, who qualified in Red Talks on education, and Lola Fredrickson, who will represent the state of Iowa as an officer and also qualified to the national competition in early childhood education. Our FCCLA chapter was also recognized this year as a silver chapter, and our advisor, Jessica Levicki, won the Distinguished Advisor Award for the state of Iowa. In our wrestling programs, on the boys' side, we had 4 state qualifiers. Ryder Eklund was a state qualifier. Dylan Moe was a state qualifier. Kinnick Munson was a state qualifier. And Lucas Pelly-Mounter was a state qualifier. We also had 2 students that competed at a really high level at the West Central Activities Conference Wrestling Tournament. Ryder Eklund finished first in the conference in his weight class, and Kinnick Munson finished second in his weight class. Our boys wrestling coaching staff also won the 1A Central District Coaches of the Year. So that'd be our head coach, Jesse Sundell, won Head Coach of the Year, and then our assistant coaches, Trevor Stevens and Michael Berger, won Assistant Coaches of the Year for the Central District. On the girls wrestling side, we had 2 state qualifiers. Rylan Casey was a state qualifier, and Grace Hammer was a state qualifier. And then we also had several students that competed at a high level at our conference wrestling tournament. Rylan Casey placed first in her weight class. Grace Hammer placed first in her weight class. Trinity Stoneburn placed first in her weight class. Ruby Tassler placed first in her weight class. And then Carly Hinderacher placed second in hers, and Jocelyn Wells also finished second in her weight class. On to robotics. Our robotics team competed at the Iowa Regional at the University of Northern Iowa, and they finished 3rd as an alliance at that regional. Members of the robotics team that are in high school are Parker Reeves, Gabe Klotz, Bailey Gears, Glenda Moody, Akira Toms, Tegan Patton, Cameron Chitty, Henry Russo, Gavin Miller, Cameron Carville, Isabel Holt, Emmy Reeves, Lincoln Buckwald, and Ryder Graham. Our musical, from that, the fall going into the winter season, our musical has been selected to actually perform the musical down at the Civic Center later on this month. And what's the date? The 28th of May, thank you very much, which is an outstanding accomplishment. We also had some individuals within that musical that had some special recognitions, those being Beck Anderson, Katie Brailsford, and Lydia Longhorn. Received outstanding achievement in a principal or a lead role, and then Gavin Seiler received special recognition in a lead role as well. And our final activity to recognize would be our jazz band. They participated at the Iowa State Jazz Championship. Members that participated on that state jazz championship team were Beck Anderson, Elena Wilson, Ryder Graham, Ella Anderson, Gavin Seiler, Asher Horde, Thomas Bergstrom, Isabel Holt, Greta Seiler, Elias Engelman, Imani Swan, Ava Woolwin, Talis Erickson, Wyatt Whitman, Mackenzie Spencer, Anna Wilson, Everett Petty, Henry Russo, Silas Rude, Jude Cliff, and Glenda Moody, with 2 of those students receiving outstanding soloist awards, which would be Beck Anderson in the alto saxophone and Thomas Bergstrom in the trumpet. So I know that is a huge, long list of students to recognize, but that is great stuff. We have students that are competing at a high level in a variety of different activities, so there's a lot to be excited about and proud of in how our students are doing and learning in Ogden. Thanks.
Would you guys be willing to come up here and have a picture with the board?
Absolutely. Of course.
If you guys want to maybe just stand behind here, and appreciate it.
No.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Thank you.
Congratulations. Job well done. Busy winter.
Thank you guys for coming. Glenda, Bailey, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Yep, take care, guys.
Moving right along.
Yep.
Principal reports. Who wants to go first?
I get to go first this time.
Very good.
We are in a busy time right now, so I'll go through quite a bit here. finished up ISAP testing. We actually moved our testing back a week, and then we've also finished up fast bridge testing. So we're just in the process of looking through results on that. I'm excited to see what the data shows us. We have a busy week ahead, so track and golf wrap up their regular season today. We're hosting a golf tournament out here. We've got boys and girls in different places. We have a band and vocal concert tomorrow night. We have state qualifying golf on Wednesday, track qualifying on Thursday. Not to mention we have senior night on Wednesday night. We have graduation practice in Bill Mullins on Friday. We have graduation on Saturday and the 8th grade recognition on Sunday. So it's just a busy time right now. If you have not bought your tickets for the middle school musical, which is Shrek on the 21st and 22nd, those are available. So pick up tickets. They always put on a good show. Last week, and I'm going to steal a little bit of her thunder, they had family recognition or family engagement night, and we got to send some of our robotics team took the robot over and had a great time at the elementary building. They actually spent the entire next day. And I know the elementary kids love that, but our kids are still talking about it at the high school level. So it's just as much fun for our kids to be able to interact with it with those elementary kids. It's always fun to see them come back excited about it. Last week we celebrated teachers during Teacher Appreciation Week. We had a lot of contributors. Mr. Heyer brought bagels on Monday morning. People's Bank provided candles. And then we had Lauren organized a group that put together a different theme for each day and just went over the top. And teachers really appreciated the gestures that were given by the community, know that they have a community that supports them. Things going in our building right now. FFA had their plant sale last week, almost sold out on day one. They had a really successful plant sale. Today in anatomy, we were dissecting pig fetuses, so that was fun. We had Iowa Then and Now last week had different community members where they were in here and our students were interviewing various community members in Ogden, and they're putting together posters and some presentations that will be out on Fun Days. So they're going to celebrate some of our local individuals. 2 weekends ago, Jazz Band had their dancing concert down at the McGraw Center. Always a lot of fun. It took a little while for the dance floor to warm up, but some of us got out there and danced that night. It's also fun because we have alumni come to play a set, and it's just fun to see some of the recent graduates and maybe some of the not so recent graduates playing, but they hopped right in, and it's like they didn't miss a beat. Senior trip was a success. It's just interesting to talk with the kids to see what they find interesting, and this year it seemed like a majority of them really enjoyed the national capital. That was something that was very impressive to them. That was on day one, so it's fun to have that conversation. We sent kids to the conference art show. Last year at the art show, we had 4 kids place in the top 5. This year we had 10 kids place in the top 5. We had 2 firsts, we had a second, we had 2 thirds, and then we had a number of 4th places, and then even more honorable mention nominations. And then the last thing I have is, while I was at senior trip, Mr. Heyer was able to go to the DCAP review and scoring. I know you guys have talked a little bit. Actually, I've talked a little bit about DCAP in the past. We went from a 14 to a 31, so we're really excited about that. So I think maybe Mr. Heyer needs to go to our DCAP review. This might be our good luck test. So really excited about some of the results that we got.
A lot of very similar things from the secondary building. After our last meeting, we had a 3rd through 5th grade music and band program, which is just, again, another example of how much the community comes out to support our students. The gym was filled, and it's always exciting to see kids take risks in singing solos or a duet in front of such a large audience, and they did a fantastic job. With just a great I think a unique theme this year, just about how they come together to support each other as students in class. So it's a great theme, I think, to wrap up the spring and school year. Similar to secondary building, we had our ISAP testing, and then our spring, we're working through our spring fast bridge testing. A little bit unique that we won't have reports for you on data until later in June because the state is kind of working through some just new skill scores and how they're classifying students within bands of proficiency. So we're starting to get some initial data sets, but we don't really know what that looks like until we have some work from the state. But students work really hard through that process. Like Derek said, we had family engagement night last week and just really appreciate our families. That was a busy time with baseball and softball and soccer and things going on at the secondary, and I think our families took time to stop by, whether it be for a little bit or spend the evening with us, but it's fun to have the families interacting with our staff. Mr. Heyer spent a couple hours calling bingo for us, which we really appreciated. Both him and his wife did that. The robotics team was amazing to see both of our parents and students having fun learning about the robot and being able to drive that a little bit. The book fair was packed. We had an art show. Students were out running and getting laps for Mileage Club. We actually had a student that ran and walked for the entire 2 hours. Their family couldn't come, and he wanted to come, so his grandpa brought him, sat on the bench, and he did laps that entire time. So it's just fun that kids had a variety of things to be able to do that they were excited about. A few field trips lately. Our preschool students had spent the day recently at the Arboretum and being able to explore some different plant pieces that were kind of an end to the unit that they were doing for their theme. Our 5th grade had a great trip at the Capitol and just being able to learn. And they had some people that were down working at the Capitol really take some time with their group to talk to them and offer them some just different pieces that maybe they don't get all of the time. So kids came back really excited about that. And then they were able to connect that with some of their siblings that had gone on the senior trip. So just building that excitement at a young age for things that might come in the future. 3rd grade did a science field trip at Don Williams, a lot about animals and plants. And then our 2nd grade traveled to Fort Dodge last week for the Ford Museum and did some learning around history. We had, just like Derek talked about, the robotics team came and spent all last Wednesday with our students, and watching high school students present and kind of lead a 45-minute class for every grade level. They talked about what the competition looks like. They had a video. Had a game where it was students versus the robot, and then they worked with students to be able to drive and navigate the robot. So just a unique experience that every elementary student was able to do that with the high schoolers. Just another great example of how much our kids really look up to the older students and learned a lot from them. Agreed, we appreciated all the people that helped to celebrate our staff for staff appreciation, and I think people really felt celebrated. So thank you to everybody that played a role in that. And then just wrapping up, 5th grade was able to come and do a transition trip and learn all about the middle school today. So Mr. Carlson talked with them. They got a tour and then had a student panel. So they came back pretty excited to leave us, even though we're sad about them leaving us, but they're ready to head to the middle school, and they were pretty excited about that trip and just preparing for field day on Friday. We're trying to just think through some different pieces like parking, since we have a lot of people that come, and then just some excitement with Mileage Club. Last year we had 20 students run, and we have about 41 students that have completed a marathon, and a lot of them are wanting to run miles. So we might just be here running for quite a while if they all decide to do that. So just excited about kids finding things that they're passionate about and having the opportunity to do that. And Wednesday is our last 3-hour training for letters, and our staff will be completed with that. So something that they worked really hard on, and we will wrap that up on Wednesday. So.
Very good. Any questions? Comments from the principals? Okay, moving right along. Thank you, principals. Consent agenda.
Yeah, in front of you guys have your consent agenda. I guess I point out 3 things. The graduation class roll. So there's 65 students that should be walking across the stage on Sunday, barring no major surprises. So graduation would be Sunday at 2:30, but 65 is a fairly large class. That will be the 2026 class. For new hires, there are a few TLC stipend positions and a few coaching positions that we have filled. And then finally, there are 7 contracts that we're issuing, and honestly, it was just when we issued them the first time, there were some lane changes. A lane change would be that they've gone from a bachelor's to a master's or a master's plus whatever, additional credits. So we're reissuing those contracts to reflect the work that they've done in their professional advancement. So those are really 3 items that I'd like to identify in the consent agenda.
If there's no questions, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Britton?
Yes.
Taylor? Thompson?
Yes.
Vanscoy?
Yes. Action items. Number 1 on the list, construction project. You're up.
Absolutely. So Rochelle and Jesse are here again with us tonight. There's been a lot of work that's been done over the last 2 months. So I'm excited for them to kind of share out a little bit more on what's been going on and how the elementary project has evolved. Jesse, if you have an extra, we have a board going.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Do we want to shut off this first row maybe? And you guys have very similar things in your packet too, so if you can't see it here, you should be able to see it from here, but I want you to be able to see a little bit of this. If you guys want to see this at all, you might have to move over there. Well, thank you for having us here again tonight. Tonight we're here to present design development, which is a little bit further in our construction documents. We haven't gotten into those yet. We'll go to those now, hopefully, pending approval tonight. And we have met several times with both admin, but also with staff, looking at their spaces, talking through the spaces, talking about what they need, just from a daily perspective of casework or cabinetry, what they might need to teach the students, thinking differently about their spaces as well, maybe being a little bit more open to having a little bit more flexibility within their classroom so that they can really adapt and change as needed. And we'll get into the plan here in a minute. I just want to remind you on schedule. So obviously we're here tonight for design development approval, but we will be back in about a month for construction documents. Now, I want to keep in mind, when we come back to you, we're going to ask for construction document approval, but we still have a few weeks of work. It's just with how all the scheduling laid out and with your board meetings that we will actually not print until June 27th. So we'll print a little bit after that. We need a little bit more time than right at that board meeting. So, but we will come back to you at your next board meeting and we'll have more complete documents, obviously, than what we would have tonight. And then we will go out for bid. We are going to bid on July 1. Our pre-bid will be on July 1, excuse me, which means we'll have contractors come in through your elementary school, look at it before we go and bid on July 21st. So we'll actually have contractors bidding on the work on July 21st. Contracts and bidding will be on July 27th. I believe that is our one special board meeting we are going to have a plan, unfortunately, with how things laid out, but trying to get them in the building prior to when students are going to be present so that they can demo out that basement as much as they can. At least a majority of the very noisy concrete walls, those kind of things that they will need to get out of there will happen prior to school, to students there in the space. There'll still be some, obviously, that is not a whole 100% demo at that point, but it will be much more manageable from a sound perspective. So let's talk a little bit about where and how the plan has changed. I'm going to start on the main level. If you go all the way to almost the end of your packet, in here, I should say, you do also have the narratives for both architectural but also MEP, electrical, plumbing, or mechanical, electrical, plumbing. So that's from Ferris Engineering. They have a whole list. If you have any questions on that, just let me know. It just kind of outlines everything that's being done from that perspective of the project. So if you go all the way to the end there, you'll see your second plan in the packet. That's what we're looking at. Main level. We're just going to start on the main level. We'll go down to the basement in a second here, but I wanted to just get through this one. So main level, from our last conversation,
A few things have changed on the main level, not a ton, but some things programmatically wise. This flex classroom here used to be an instructional coach location. Actually changed that so you have more flexibility and openness if you need a classroom. So now in this school, you're going to have 2 flex classroom opportunities. You can use those however you might need or see fit. So one year you guys need a flex 2nd grade or you need another 3rd grade, you have the ability to do that for both 2nd and 3rd grade. So that gives you a little bit more opportunity there and a little bit more, I'm not going to say future-proofing, but again, gives you some more space to work with. That is the biggest change since our last conversation here. The faculty lounge or faculty work area here has pretty much stayed the same. We did add a storage room, took a little bit from what is a science, well, 5th grade room right now, and made that a storage room off of the faculty room. You will also notice that this language called think tanks, they're really smaller rooms made for 2 to 4 individuals, students or staff, that can be used in very impromptu meeting spaces or collaboration spaces between students or staff and students if they need to work on something together. And you'll see that actually on the lower level and on this main level. So a couple different additional spaces for you guys to be able to use and pull your kids aside, or the kids can go and collaborate together as well. Guidance here. Special education located here, and your kindergarten, your other kindergarten room that we're planning for now. One thing to note, we are moving some existing cabinets that are located in this 3rd grade room down here up to this 1st grade room. Right now that's serving as your art room. So it does not have cabinets for coats, jackets, or they're the same thing, coats and boots. In your 3rd grade, you actually use the lockers, so you don't need those in your 3rd grade room. We are looking at adding lockers as well, some additional lockers at this green pod area. And that is for your additional students that are now in that area. So right now you have that computer science room that's not acting as an individual general education classroom. It's more of an related arts. I think this was on the plan before as well. It's PE storage and office storage here for the gym. And then we're doing some minor improvements to the music room, adding another wall for sound, and then doing some acoustic treatment to the walls. So that's the main level. Does anyone have any questions on the main level?
Were you able to find a solution to vent the server room?
We are working through that right now. We're going to try to go through the roof. So, and I'll talk about HVAC in a little bit too.
I don't see the 2nd flex classroom on here. Is it because it's up off the map?
Yes, yes, it is. And it's not even on this one, so that makes it really confusing.
No, that's
talking
right.
about 2 flex classrooms.
Yes.
We are not doing anything to these rooms up here, so we're cutting that off to get a better plan on one page. But basically, your other room is right here in the corner. Yep.
And then we had space for, I don't remember, education specialist, I don't know what her title is.
Yeah.
So what's
Instructional coach.
Yes, instructional coach.
Believe the alternative is it the office, or are we doing it right over here in this pot? Yeah. So there is, if you open up your plan there.
Mm-hmm.
Right now we have it labeled title.
Oh, yeah, this one?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So that would technically be her office.
Yep.
And that's a good space. Okay.
And with that, the great possibility is that flex classroom, that we could use that as
Yes.
a learning specialist as well.
Oh, right.
Yes.
But it also could be that she is in the 2nd title room as well.
Okay.
This plan allows for great flexibility if we were to start to see multiple 3-section needs.
Yeah.
Now, instead of having just one flex classroom, we really have the ability to have 2 additional flex classrooms, which would help us if we see growth.
Yep. And that doesn't mean that on years you don't need the flex, that's going to go empty. I can guarantee you guys will find a use for that space in that year. One way or another, right? Okay. So let's go down to the basement. So that's going to be the sheet before that. Kind of changed a little bit of your order here. So down in the lower level, again, very similar, I believe, to how you guys saw it last time. we're keeping this corridor here. We are adding a door in a secure area back here. So you come through the, right now, which is a corridor. We're removing all the walls, keeping the columns, and you're going to have a general corridor through the media center in this design. Computer science is still here, and we have art up here, and then we have a learning lab. So this is a little different than the last one. I think we called it TAG last time, and it will also be used by TAG, but it will be used by more than just TAG. It's a opportunity for teachers to either schedule the space and use it as a learning laboratory where they can come down and do all different types of activities together. Hands-on activities, it could be computer activities, it could be, any type of collaboration. So it's really trying to utilize the space for many different teachers throughout the day. But TAG will also use it as well. The media, it will actually have those removable, or I should say removable windows here, and we'll see a rendering of that in a second here so you can get an idea. But it is glass there, so you can see into the media center, but you'll also be able to open that up and the learning center will collaborate with the media center. So if you guys have any larger events, Lego, Mania, here, you can accommodate that. Or if you have staffing conversations or things you need to do from a professional development, that can also happen, and you can open those up and get a greater use of your space. So that's kind of something, this area has been developed a little bit more. Within each one of these, you can see this kind of longer strip here. That's cabinets, sinks, things that the teachers will need for everyday learning activities, and you can see right here, that's what they look like if you were to look right at them. So the learning lab is going to be fairly simple because that is not going to be owned by a specific staff member. It's going to be used again through, people can schedule it out, people can use it in different ways. So you're going to have kind of a general, some tall storage and some uppers and lowers in there to keep stored if you need to. And they'll be lockable. So if you do have things that, let's say the TAG teacher needs to keep something specific in there, they can do that. Computer science, lots of totes, lots of storage, lots of bins, because they have lots of things and lots of students. So you can see this whole wall here is going to have a lot of more storage than they currently have. They currently have about this setup right now. So this is a much better setup for them from that perspective. Art up here, 2 sinks. We have some tote storage, some paper storage, some tall storage, and lots of counter space for them. And these have been, we've talked with them, and we've also talked with admin, and this is kind of what we've come up with that we've worked together on for that. The other thing, and Jesse will show you a picture here in a minute, the media center. So we have this ramp here, obviously getting to this back area. It's elevated, and we created a set of stairs, or a learning stair, we've heard them be called before. It's basically a little presentation space. Someone could present and you could listen. Kids could sit on there and you could read to them. So it's just a different way to use the media center and use it as an interactive tool, right? Instead of just a stationary piece, kids can go in there. You can have your computer science team come in there, present something that they just worked on. Or you can have art. Come and showcase a piece of art. And everyone can come and listen to them. It just gives another opportunity and another place for kids to learn and collaborate together. But we do have adequate linear storage for books. We did add more space for picture books as well. And then we have lots of tables and flexible and movable seating. Circulation desk is located back here, very visible for the entire media center. We want to make sure who's ever in there can keep their eyes on the space. And then back up over here, we got another think tank, couple of think tanks. Again, those are for students and staff to either work on activities together or students to collaborate, or you could even have a green screen in one of those, and it could be an interactive space. So lots of different opportunities there. And some homeschool storage corridor, and you got your stairs. So, any questions on the floor plan for the lower level.
So as you go up the ramp,
Yes.
there's a 16-foot platform,
Mm-hmm.
and to the left of the ramp is the stairs you were talking about.
Yes. Yep.
As you get further west
Mm-hmm.
on that platform,
Yep.
how does that transition then back down to the floor of the media center?
You're talking about right over here?
Yes. Right.
Yep. Maybe the rendering would be good to show. Basically, this is a set of stairs.
Okay.
And these will be finished on the ends. And then there's a bookcase actually here, an
Okay.
integrated bookcase with a handrail. We'll show you in a minute. That'll be easier, I think, when we show you kind of
Okay.
a generalized rendering of it. But yes.
So kind of deadheads
Yes.
right there.
Yes. Yeah. It's elevated too, so like a kid can't just fall off of it.
Yeah.
So. How far is that bookcase after that platform? 2 feet.
And then, is there going to be like a kiln in the yard?
Not right now, no. But there could be in
Is
the future.
there considerations of at least wiring? making
Yeah,
sure
we
there's
could. We'll talk
wiring?
about that with our MVP on that one.
I think it's a good
Definitely
idea to
worth
have that
roughing it
option
in.
in that back
Yeah.
storage room,
Yeah.
that if we needed it.
Yeah.
I think that's something that,
Now would be the time.
It would be. The
This would
only
be the time.
the toughest thing will be is the exhaust, right?
Oh, sure.
Coming from the basement and going up. So that's one thing we'll have to get creative with.
Sure. Yep.
Any other questions on the floor plan? Okay. In your packet, you do have elevations, which again would be, if you're looking straight at a wall, that's what you would see. If you want to look through them, let me know if you have any questions. I just pulled up kind of some key ones there, but obviously we've been developing these as the project's been moving forward.
So starting with some renderings, we have these to provide some visualization. This is a view of the computer science room. So you'll see on your right is casework. We assigned it to just that east wall, which will really open up the space as opposed to maybe what we had before, but still provide ample storage for students to store their projects, supplies, etc. In this view, you'll also see that the garage door or the overhead door is transparent, not solid, which will provide some visual transparency between the art and computer science. And of course, it can open up if the two programs decide to do projects together, collaborate, what have you. The computer science, art, and learning labs, or actually all learning labs and think tanks, will be supplied with this kind of maker space as opposed to your traditional desk, which will really emphasize collaboration and just provide sort of a different, more unique opportunity for collaboration opportunity. This computer science room will also be outfitted with more than one Clever Touch or TV, just working around columns, making sure that all the students can see, what's being demoed, what's being projected, making sure that visualness is prioritized. Learning lab, so like Rochelle mentioned, this is going to be a place where students can demonstrate a different type of learning than maybe traditional desk and chair, where they can demonstrate hands-on learning, creative thinking, collaboration, etc. You can see in that corner, that's the window or the door situation that Rochelle was talking about earlier, where it'll open up and really create transparency and openness between the learning lab and the media center. You could open it up for, say, Lego Club, whatever functions.
Was that tag this tag at one time?
It was tag, and we've had conversations. So she serves as math intervention as well as tag. And we were trying to put all the things that she needs into one designated spot. And what ultimately we discussed with her is that why don't we separate that? And if she's providing math interventions or whatever she might be doing, she can do that elsewhere in the building. And then if she needs to come down and serve tag, she can serve tag in that designated location. And the interaction between computer science, tag, art, media center, etc. is exclusive. But rather than just tying that up for the small amount that she's using tag, let's use it for a flexible option, hence the learning lab, and other people could possibly check that space out for, like, let's say they're getting ready to do a summative assessment, and it is to create a deeper understanding of whatever you've done. They could actually check that out, hopefully create their project in partnership down there and show a deeper understanding.
So we would not have a dedicated tag space, is that correct?
Well,
the intent would be this
the
space.
intent would be that this is it. But it's not. So how much does she serve tag?
Right now, it's about 4.5.
Okay.
So that's our entire tag program.
Yeah. So about 0.4 per day could be down there, but rather than tying that up specifically for, so what would it be? 5 hours of the day, it would be available for other people to be able to be used.
When you say check out spaces in the building, how does that look? Will that be like some kind of scheduler tool that you guys have online or for the staff to use?
Yeah, I'm sure that we could figure out a calendar, like as simple as a Google Calendar, and you go in there and you identify, and you're able to check that out.
Thanks.
I actually appreciate trying to be using this space that you don't put yourself in a corner to where you have flexibility down the road as the needs of building change, which will happen. I'll guarantee you that.
So moving on to the media center, you can see how the floors interact. So on the right is that ramp, and then right here is what I would say are sitting stairs. We don't necessarily have sitting stairs, and then your regular stairs, and then there will be integrated bookshelf situation that acts as the guardrail. So it's still safe, but it's integrated to really make it look similar to couches chopped up. You can see in this northwest corner is your circulation desk, so the librarian has prime visual access to the rest of the space. So you can see we have bookshelves as well as a TV, and this space can really serve as all things that bookshelves sit for presentation, can act as story time perhaps for the librarian. It's really meant to present a more unique opportunity to the space. You can see we also have some more traditional chairs and desks, which can be part of the presentation, whether for kids or for teachers for professional development. You can also see some fun shelving options, which will flow with the floor plan.
So we had talked about trying to maximize best that could be sunlight.
Yeah.
So how has that developed, or has it developed at all?
Yes, it has. Yes, we're adding windows. Unfortunately, it's basically right here in this image behind you. But we are going to actually add windows as much as we can in that space. So the floor plan that might show a little bit better, actually. You see right here, the
Yes.
darker ones there,
Yeah.
those are all representing windows. And those are the existing openings that have been filled in. We're going to take it back out.
Yeah.
And we're going to put some windows in. They will be a little, We might be able to utilize the lower section of those windows in here a little bit more, just because we don't have any cabinets on this wall. This one we might have to keep to the higher windows, just with the bookshelves that are located on the wall. So. But yes, we are trying to get as much light into that space, and then obviously into the art and the computer science, trying to get light through the doors and the use of those windows next to the doors as well.
I believe your elevations on A201 would reflect that as well.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know yet, but yeah.
201.
You can see
Next
some
page.
elevations.
The building, outdoor building elevation there that you see at the top.
And then from the media center going to the west, so you can see it from the outside what it would look like, and from the inside what it would look like.
And we'll try to get those as big as we can. I know we're working with some. They were broken up into 2 different windows before, so.
Do you think that they'll have to do some excavating to?
I don't know. I don't think they will have to do any excavating because those windows are.
It's above grade.
Yeah, it's above grade. Yes, yes, it is. Yeah, if you go look out there, you can actually see where the patches are because it's slightly different in color. Yeah.
All right.
No, we will not want to make them. No, we have concrete that basically runs right there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, so let's go to project estimated cost. That's the last page in your booklet there, very last page. So the overall cost just is about the same than we came to you with DD, or with SD, excuse me, the previous time we came to visit you. A couple things that have changed and been updated. We did obviously add some changing of some lockers and also the renovating that art room space. That was a little bit of a change. I have updated some of the square footage numbers as well because we have gotten some recent bids in, they've been favorable. So I've updated that to be a little bit more in line with what we saw with those, which is similar in scope. And then we did take off the secure entry for the preschool because you guys are going to actually do that this summer. You guys can do it internally. You guys have a plan already. You just take it and you do it, then you can have it done this summer. So. And the HVAC, you'll see in the line item on here for that. So that was that is to replace one of your existing units up there so that we can cool the basement. Because right now, that unit that sits up there is about 25 years old, which is about end of life up there. Actually, you have 2 units. They're both close to end of life. So one of the units is as well. So
25 years.
It's lived a good life. It's lived a good life.
Doesn't owe us any apologies.
So that is to actually replace one of those units that would actually cool the lower level. Because right now it doesn't have cooling in it. So we've replaced the unit with a unit that would cool and heat that level. You'll see an alternate in this bid right below that line item. It says HVAC for gym. So if we were to add a second unit to that and replace that second unit up there, at the same time, it's about, $95,000 add. So what we would do at this time is add as an alternate, and if bids come in favorable, you would have an opportunity to accept that alternate, so you'd replace both of those units at the same time. So just something to think about.
So the gym would be air conditioned? Finally.
Yes. So it's worth a consideration, obviously, depending on how bid numbers come together. So all that, design contingency and project contingency, that was at 25% at our first meeting. I've knocked that down to 15 because we've come a lot further and we have a lot more figured out. And the HVAC was not, the whole new unit was not originally in the bid, so we got that in there. So I've moved some of that 10% into the actual project cost now. But when we go to bid, that number will come down in a percentage. It will not stay at 15 when the project goes to bid. That will come down. So you can see the project subtotal right now, not including the alternate, is $2,340,000. And then we have some soft costs in there for owner furniture technology and the preschool updates. So I moved that into this column here. And that is about $493,000. And then we have professional fees, reimbursables, printing of documents, testing during construction, which is going to be very minimal, and I might take a lot of that out because you're really not going to have much testing during construction on this project. So that comes to about $268,000. So you can see our total here, not including the alternate, is a $3,104,000. And that's a little down actually from our previous estimate.
So, what is the current climate of bidding?
I'll give you an example. We had 2 projects bid. They were in West Des Moines. They were renovation projects solely. They came in, I want to say like 30% of their original budget. That's why I've updated these numbers to drop them, because they came in very favorable. And that's summer only work. So that's intense work. This summer only. This is I think this is going to be the only thing is maybe the location is a little different, right? That might have a little bit, because it's a great size project for a lot of different contractors. This number, I feel like anywhere from like $1 million to $5 million is a great number for contractors. You get a lot of different people interested in it. So right now we're still seeing favorable bids. I think this is a winter project as well, so that's also favorable. So, but no guarantees. Obviously, we won't know until we bid it. But
Are you
still looking good.
planning on this being like separate prime contracts, or are we doing one?
All in one.
Thank you.
It will be a general contractor project. If you wanted to do that, you could.
No.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it will be a general bid contract, so you have one contractor. Yep.
And just note, the pebble note that we took out, obviously we're doing construction with the parking lot. We want to make sure that everything fits in there. Right now I have it, if bids come in as we would project, we still have $180,000. So that could be some alt bids and or some possible sample classrooms that we were discussing possibly over here.
And that's also the furniture budgets in there too, so keep that in mind too. There's some play there. Any questions?
It's nice work. It's fun to see it come this far now with some of the last tweaks you made.
You can make that to your staff and to your admin team, honestly. So.
And when you get to the point when you see the renderings, and that's when it's like,
yeah,
the visual is
fun.
better. Yeah.
So this motion is to pretty much, yes, let's go to the next step.
Which it allows them the ability to start to do some detailed construction prints,
Yeah.
so that we can take it out for a bid. Okay. Rochelle, you did mention one additional meeting on July 27th.
Yes.
With the intent on June 8th that they would accept without having 100%.
Correct.
If they wanted 100%, we could do that, but it would require an additional meeting in June.
Yes.
So that's really something that the board would need to decide is are they comfortable doing a 90% approval of the construction documents on our regular meeting, or would it be worth having 100% of the construction documents and have the special meeting at the end of June?
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We were just trying to minimize especially in the summer, requests we were asking you guys to do.
And when would we decide that?
I think it's up to the board.
Yeah.
Right now?
Well, I think we can decide now, or I can send out messages and see what your guys' preference is. But I think now it would be, what are your guys' initial thought on that?
Can you explain that again about the 90%? Like, it's not committing to. Yeah, go ahead.
No,
No, you go ahead. I have no thoughts.
It would be like 85 to 90% complete, which isn't 100%, which means we still have some details we have to work on, those kind of things, little things that we need to work on, like a jam detail, for example, which would be like how was the door cut and where is it cut, and just some of those little details we need to finalize. There might be some final field verification we want to do, and our specs, like so our whole entire spec book that would have all of the information for every single material used in this project wouldn't be final. You know, we'd be missing some pieces. We might not have final colors selected, things like that.
And that would roll into another.
If we wanted 100% of all of that, it would need us to have an additional meeting. It would be towards the end of June.
But we can approve it at 90% and essentially we're approving whatever you end with. Is that true?
Yes.
Gotcha. So I think it's really the flavor of the board on, do you want a 90% approval and on a regular meeting, or would you have an additional meeting and see the entirety of, you know, the entire blueprints and everything spelled out, all of those things.
And we will see that though too, because they'll.
Yes.
Anyway, right before you approve your construction contract, you have to have the public hearing
Yep.
on your
Yep.
plans, and then you approve your final
Yes.
specifications.
Correct.
So at that point, you would see the
Yes.
final to approve the final
Yeah,
specifications as well.
you're almost tentatively approving them at that next board meeting.
Would we
Basically,
incur costs if we made changes after the final?
you probably aren't going to make that much changes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't, unless there's like a major change in scope. No.
Then I'm fine with approving at 90%.
And we're out of that.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
Is that common practices?
We do it when we have a tight schedule and when we have tight board meetings. We need to get things approved. Yes.
I'm okay.
So we will move forward with it on the June 8th regular meeting. You guys will be back here again. And at that time, we'll set the public. At that time, we would set the public hearing and those types of things.
Yes, yeah, because you'll set the public hearing for the approval or for public comment, and then you'll also want to, at the following, we'll give you have language, we'll get that all. So,
But you will see a final plan too.
yeah.
I'm very
Any questions, comments,
Thank you.
Thank you.
any motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the design development as represented in plans and estimated total cost for the Ogden Community School District. Ogden Elementary School Renovation Project.
Britton, Taylor, Thompson,
Yes.
Van Sickle.
All right, classified staff retention bonuses.
Okay, before Joshua jumps in, I noticed today I gave you the calculation but not the plan language, so you had numbers but no words to go with why the numbers were numbering.
I was wondering about
I know you were really concerned about that. So these are just the stipulations of that spreadsheet. So the state gives us a pot of money. They started it last summer. They gave us another pot this previous summer. We use it as retention bonuses for our classified staff. So the stipulations are listed there. Basically, any hourly staff member who worked during first semester through the end of the year gets the full bonus. Anybody hired second semester gets half. And anybody hired after May 1st is not eligible this year. So that's kind of the calculation piece on that to make sure we utilize all of that $16,049. We pay it out in June. It's kind of a nice extra for summer when their checks are smaller. Usually helps cover summer insurance costs for them. But that's the language that I just handed to you. That goes with the words to describe the chart that was included in your packet.
To add to it, when they were raising the minimum teacher salary to $50,000, legislation put $14 million and some one-time money, and it's been renewed a couple of years. So this last legislative session it went from $14 million to $7 million, but that would be for next year. And of that $14 million, Ogden received $16,000. And Melissa has really come up with some criteria, and in your guys' packet, you saw who would be receiving that. But I believe a full time that has been here would be $439.70, would be basically a bonus for our classified staff based off of that $14 million that the state set aside.
If there's no other questions on that, I'll make a motion to approve the fiscal year 26 ESPSS plan for bonuses for hourly staff.
Britton,
Yes.
Taylor, Thompson,
Yes.
Van Sickle.
Yes. On to school fees.
Yeah, we need to approve the school fees for the 26-27 school year. They were included in your guys' packet. To be honest, there's no changes. We kind of are continually looking at our school fees in comparison to our neighbors and or in our conference school, and we're right in that rate threshold. So there's no changes to what we had for 25-26, rolling them forward to 26-27.
And these fees get fed into what?
John. Well, except for the activity fees.
Sure.
But yeah, the textbook rentals and then those other fees all go to general.
So do they have to be earmarked for something specific
No.
in general?
No, it's one of our revenue streams.
Okay.
To fund.
So they don't technically have to pay for textbooks or whatever.
No.
And we do the meals separate on a different. That's a separate.
That would
Yeah,
be
we
a-
don't have the prices
Yeah.
set
I
yet.
believe in July is when we do
They've
that.
been getting that tool out later and later and later each year, so.
So, any other questions? Any motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the 26-27 school fees as presented.
So can I just ask one question?
Yeah.
If a family says this is a barrier to them, what then? Is that ever an issue? Does that
These
make
are
sense?
also applicable for, like, they can be tied to free and reduced lunches. If you
Okay.
qualify for those, you can check the box to have your student fees reduced waived as well. So,
Good question.
It's never an issue for
So if you have a free and reduced application, you can also look, it's in one of our policies, I don't have the policy memorized, but the policy says that if you qualify for free and reduced, you can also sign up for a fee, tuition, a fee waiver.
Sure.
And then those fees would be waived.
You don't have the policies memorized.
I'll take it.
Britton,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Van Sickle.
Yes. All right, director sharing agreements.
So Cindy, for the last 3 years, our food and nutrition director, has worked with United. And I think through that, she's allowed her expertise to be over there and helps grow their staffing. Their staffing now is in a position where they don't necessarily need her anymore. So we were going to discontinue the United contract. At that same time, South Hamilton came to us and said, hey, we have a need for that same thing. We need somebody to come in and oversee our kitchens, really help train our staff with all of the paperwork and documentation, ordering, et cetera, et cetera. So ultimately, we do not get operational sharing for food and nutrition. Some positions you do. SBO, superintendent, transportation director. For whatever reason, food and nutrition is not an operational share, but we bill that school for the services and the time that that employee is there. So really, it's just a discontinuation of United, but now bringing on South Hamilton for that 70-30 split, and that's what we've done the last 3 years for City.
Any questions?
I would move to approve the termination of the food service director sharing agreement with the United Community School District at the end of the fiscal year and approve the new food service sharing agreement with South Hamilton for fiscal year 27.
Britton,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Van Sickle.
Yes. Batting cage project.
Yeah, so in your guys' packet, you received some information, kind of a write-up. Mr. Smith and I kind of worked on together, and it also showed some examples. But you can see the background. Those batting cages have been in place for, we think, around 25 years. And at the time that they were installed, a fencing material, a hard fence, hard surface, was the way to go. Technology has evolved, and we, on an annual basis, usually in July, start to look at what are the projects that we want to possibly move forward with. And then we start to analyze, is this a need or a want? Is it a safety issue? Is it a not safety issue? And this kind of, the cream kind of surfaced to the top last year. I'm thinking July and August. We've kind of then went out and figured out what is the best approach of tackling this, how do we want to do it, and then ultimately Reed started to work with boosters, what might they be able to contribute to, what might we be able to contribute to with Heppel, and what might he be able to contribute with the softball program. So you can see ultimately it would be the demolition of what we currently have out there, and then the installation in new batting cages for our softball, and maybe even baseball would be able to use them, but primarily so far for for softball.
That was going to be one of my questions, was if baseball, if it was for both, or because it mentioned softball a lot. So I wasn't sure if it
Yeah,
was.
I think right now it is a softball effort. The baseball program hits indoors a large part, and that's kind of where they prefer. But I think this nice of a facility, it would allow the ability for either program to be able to get out there.
That's probably why we didn't find it. We both were driving back there, looking for it, just not to see it.
Oh,
I didn't see.
so the current batting cage that we have would be as you are going down and turning the corner, you would actually see a structure right now. It really is a chain link fence on all sides. And as I mentioned in here, a lot of ricocheting, a lot of balls that are getting hit, and they're coming back. Just truly a safety issue. Whereas this is going to give us a greater flexibility for more people to be hitting in there, pitching as well. I didn't think it would be for pitching, but Mr. Smith did indicate that pitching could also happen in there. So. Yes, we are asking for the approval now, but they would actually want to wait and get through the entire season before this project would start. They don't want to do it right now. We really missed the window. Ideally, they wanted this done around March, and we just didn't get it approved, as well as the contracts. We didn't get all the bids and everything, so it took some time getting all that information.
This is coming out of the Pebble fund, is that what you said?
It would be Pebble.
And was it built in the budget, or this is an addition?
It will actually, we kind of earmark like a small projects thing each year, so this would take up the majority of our project budget for next year for miscellaneous projects.
Is that concerning, or?
I don't think so, because a lot of the other things that could be done have been built into construction already with bonds and stuff, so we've really looked more at what's the next on the list of safety concerns to utilize that project fund next.
Okay, so it would be fiscal year 27.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any place else that we could be getting money from?
I mean, Save and Pebble are pretty interchangeable. Save, I'm a little scared of right now with the most recent legislation changes. I want to run those numbers through and really look at Save before I commit anything new to that. But this does fall into a line item that kind of just standing appropriation, really, for our Pebble money.
So the question, could we use World on those bills?
Ooh. Maybe we have to actually do some of it.
That is a reasonable question.
Okay.
We do our mowing contracts and maintaining with that, but if there is additional, I think this would fall under a rural expense.
So, I'm sorry, are you done?
Sorry. I'm done, yes.
Not that we should change anything here, I just have a curious question. Could you hit golf balls in that?
I don't know if the netting, that's a great question. If the netting is tight enough for that, you might be able to. I think that's a question that I could ask Reed before it's purchased.
Which would, if you could, it would just justify the expense even more if it accommodates the boys and girls golf team as well. And if they could maybe get a different netting to do that with
It costs too much more to swap it out.
or not even cost anymore. Something to think about.
Yep.
I'm not even saying we should do that. It's something to think about anyway.
It's a great question, and it's one that I wrote down, and I will ask Reed about if there is something, what the mesh is and the size of that, and could it be, if he reaches out to a bigger and sees what the recommendation would be.
So, any other questions?
Sorry, can you say, for the 5,600 other funding source, what is that? Is that like a fundraising?
I think that's a boosters. I think that's the one piece the boosters is going to do.
Great question. If you look up top, the turf is placed over the top of it. and that would be funded by the Booster Club. And then the hitting mats is going to come out of Mr. Smith's softball fundraising, so that would be the $2,000. Yeah.
Any other questions? I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the batting cage project as shown.
I will entertain a second too.
I'm not gonna
Do you want to share what you're thinking?
that's a lot of money for a batting cage, in my head. You know, what would you do with $34,000? How else would you use Pebble? This seems to be extra fluff. You know, I know we talk about safety, but I just know there's a lot of money goes to sports. I would like to know, how much do we spend on sports and how much return we get off that investment? You know, do we spend $50,000 or $1,600? And is there any revenue coming back out of it? So I'm not sure. So that's okay.
So, whether you like it or not, our society, sports is really, really important. It's really, really important. And to deny reality, you're arguing against reality.
No. I'm arguing against culture. I mean, and I know that our culture says that, but we're an educational institution, and we are here to provide learning, through books and numbers. And I just see Ogden has always been so sport oriented and so geared towards it. I'm not going to vote for it, so I don't care.
And you have the right to do that.
Yeah, thank you.
But I'll just use myself as an example. The things that I learned in sports were life skills. So we are educating kids not only in the classroom, but on the courts, on the fields. And then when you couple that with safety, I mean, when a kid gets a baseball to the noggin because it's popping off a chain link fence, now we're talking about safety issues. Then having an educational experience through sports, and then just making sure that the kids that are going to be in the batting cage anyway have a safe environment to hit softball or baseball.
And there's only certain ways you can spend money in that in Pebble, so it's not like you're robbing from. I do see what you're saying.
Use the Pebble for? How have you used Pebble in the past on other projects?
It's facility upgrades.
Any upgrade to any of our grounds facilities
It's
any physical
yeah.
things that we've upgraded. All of them would come from Pebble, say, or some sort of general aviation
Like
fund.
we did, I think last year there was something on the field, the baseball field. Did that come out of Pebble?
Oh, the regrade, the re-leveling. Yes.
And how much was that? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't remember. That was last
I think it was
summer.
probably 19,000.
Yeah.
I don't remember for sure.
The safety pieces would be why I'm voting. I agree it's a lot of money, but we're going to have a baseball program. Let's make sure it's safe. That's why I'm. definitely see what you're saying.
Is there information that the board needs that I can bring back?
So, like, you would not be starting this until after the season?
That's correct. We missed that window to do it for this season.
Okay.
So it would be after the softball, baseball season before they would demo the current one and move forward with this next one.
So what happens if I just want more time to think about it? Can it be tabled till the next meeting or no? That would be annoying to the process.
My question also would be, I guess I've seen kind of a downtrend in participation in baseball and softball. Is that correct?
I'm not sure where you're getting those numbers.
Well, I mean,
Our
I just
softball
want more
program
kids
actually has pretty high participation.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to know those kinds of numbers. If if 10 years ago we had 20 boys out or 20 girls, now it's down to 11 or 12. Is that a trend or what?
Okay. So
Sorry, I'm thinking this one.
We did not collaborate. When I said we went and looked, I was in my car, she was in her car. So I guess
Can I ask, this is the project that you believe is the best way that we use the funds that we have in capital for fiscal year 27?
in July of last year, we sat down and I have a list of about 50 items. I asked Melissa and said, how much money do we have this year for Pebble additional things?
Mm-hmm.
And we went through and I have a scale of 1 through 4 on how we rate them.
Okay.
Ones would be like high need safety issues, we need to do this, all the way down to a 4 would be more on, it's just a want. There's no advancement, it's more on just, and we rank everything before we get into money. We rank everything on an annual basis on a 1 through 4, and then we resort those 1s up top, the 2s, the 3s, and the 4s, and they always stay on the list. But our goal is that we are always addressing the highest needs. This was one of those. It was a 2 is what was scored with myself and Billy Olson. And Melissa was there as well to kind of talk to money and making sure that we're not biting off more than what we can afford. So this was on the FY26's list. We just didn't get the bids in time to bring this to the project.
Okay. Is there anything at level 1 that is not being addressed?
That would have already been taken care of, and this would not be being presented to you guys if there was a higher need. And if we need to table it, and if you like, I can bring that information and share that information with the board on what that process looks like. And an example of what we have done over the last 3 years through that kind of vetting process. I believe I met with you guys, and you guys have seen it as a facility
I
committee.
can clearly see that spreadsheet you had. Yep. 2, 3 years ago.
I'll second the motion.
Britton,
Yes.
Taylor,
I'm sorry, are we voting?
we are voting.
No.
Thompson,
Yes.
Benson.
Yes. So, next item is policy revisions. Joshua?
Yeah, so periodically ISB will send us out information, and it would be based off of law changes and or updates as they are going through their policies. And today Melissa has provided for you guys a number of the 102s. And then there are connections with some school nutrition about really is the equal education opportunity. So there's really some language changes in there, it's very subtle, and a lot of it was more on like PO number, et cetera, et cetera. So those changes were included in the 102, the 102R1, the 102E1 through 6, and then the 710s. which is school nutrition and the notice of discrimination.
Those are first and final.
No, just first.
It'd be a first.
Okay. All right. Any questions about those? Any comments about those?
So if I'm understanding, the meaning is not changed
The meaning is not changing. There was one slight change due to the law, and I think it was
There's a title of a coordinator that changed.
there used to be an equity coordinator in there, and they checked that equity aspect off, and they went to coordinator, so you could see that strike through.
And there were some changes in the protected classes, something about the potential parental, marital, something.
Yeah.
Small changes in the language of their protected classes, but significant enough that I'm not comfortable only doing them in one reading. We'll do two readings.
Okay, but we made the change because we legally have.
We legally
Yes.
do. Yeah.
Yep. These changes were they're legal, and then also ISB recommended those.
I will move to approve the first reading of revised policies 102, 102R1, 102E, 126, 710.1R1, and 710.1E, 1 through 2.
Okay.
Britton,
Yes.
Taylor, Thompson,
Yes.
Van Sickle.
Yes. Okay, policy review.
So it's the 200 series that we're going through, and I believe there was 4 different policy review. This would be a first and final. There's no change there. It's association membership, board development, board compensation, and board gifts were those in there.
Any questions? Any comments? I'll entertain a motion.
I make the motion to approve first and final reading of policies 216 through 217.
Britton,
Yes.
Taylor, Thompson,
Yes.
Van Sickle.
Yes. Communications, delegations, and petitions. Public comment. It's a resounding no. Board calendar.
There is nothing in May that's on there, and then in June we'll be bringing just a few more positions, our lead learner positions, which are our teacher leadership teams. So that's really the major items that are on the calendar.
Who's handing out diplomas?
I believe we got Kelly and Lauren. They're going to be there.
Yay.
Yeah, absolutely. So it starts at 2:30. I think that if you guys were there 2:15, that'd be adequate. If you want to have a run through.
Practice.
Yeah.
Is someone going to make sure I hand the right diploma to the right person?
Usually we meet in like the cafeteria.
Yeah.
To go over the game plan.
Yeah. So if you wanted to show up to 2:15,
Okay.
that'd be great.
Maybe earlier if you want to park and stuff.
Oh, good point.
Or park at Kelly's house and we'll walk.
It's closer than
Okay, Pete, if you see my car in your parking lot.
Superintendent.
Yeah, like our principals kind of indicated, we're wrapping up the school year. Had a great school year, but there's a lot of finals that we want to make sure that we really hit the nail on the head here. Bill Mullins, graduation on Sunday. Our students will be May 27th, which will be their last day. Note that is a Wednesday, and we will do a standard Wednesday dismissal on that. So we'll make sure that we communicate that out. Parking will be a little bit of an issue for Bill Mullins as well as graduation. We have sent out information, so just trying to let people know that the back is available and that we can park back there. So those are some things that we've been kind of working on. Parking lot update, everything. We have meetings every other Thursday where we meet with Bishop Engineering and the contractor. Things are advancing as they would anticipate. Things are moving actually quite nicely. They think the senior drive could be done as early as this week. So they're pouring a good portion every day. They think they have 2 or 3 more pours before that new senior drive will be complete. So if you guys have a chance to pop out there and just kind of look at it and see it, it's pretty impressive to see all the work that they've done.
It looks wider than the old senior strip is.
That's what we were thinking, that it is a little bit wider.
Yeah, that's nice.
The senior, the it's going to be a different diagonal, if you remember how they'll exit out. But really good progress today.
So will they, part of that phase, will they go ahead and paint lines?
They're going to wait, and they asked if I wanted that done or not, and they actually said they would do it if required, but they also said the longer you wait, the better that paint would be as far as adhering to the actual concrete. So I actually said, let's just wait and let the concrete cure as long as possible, and then paint the entire thing at once.
Sure.
Yeah, just thought of this, I'm putting on the spots with your wrong answer, but will they be able to paint their parking spots next year?
That is something that Mr. Carlson and I have discussed, and we're trying to wrestle with brand new concrete versus long-standing traditions.
Yep.
And we have actually had that conversation.
Totally.
Yep.
Just thought of
Yep. So I think I have a direction on what we will do, but I think that we need to have a further discussion.
that asphalt sucked up a lot of paint last year. You just put it down and like, where did it go? Of course, you painted it white.
It was not a tradition when I graduated, so I don't know when it started.
Okay.
Wow, 5 years ago?
It's pretty
not
recent.
long-standing.
Okay.
That's not
Okay.
Okay.
2 years?
It's only been two.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, it's not long standing.
I thought it's been.
No, so
Okay.
that helps.
You decide.
Long time then.
We can kill that.
You put a stake and have like something on a sign there, like
Yeah.
a temporary post.
So, we used to do it when I was at school, but it was gravel. So, it would just wash away. No, we didn't paint. But it was gravel.
Last thing, OAA really stepped up last week. People's Bank, and then also several other families within our community. They just wanted to echo what our principals have already said, but I heard a lot of our staff say that they felt appreciated in last week. So thank you for all that. That's all I have.
Just a brief comment before we adjourn. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
the plans and the book. It's just really nice. It's really kind. Appreciate it. So, would someone move to adjourn?
I will second that.
Britton,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Van Sickle.
Yes.